Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University, where it's men's lacrosse action in the Ohio Athletic Conference as the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets play host to the Marietta College Pioneers. The Yellow Jackets come in with a 1-5 overall record. They are 1-1 at home. Marietta is 3-4 overall. They are 2-2 away from home. The Yellow Jackets come into today's game on the heels of a 16-11 victory over Chatham on March 13th, while the Pioneers come in on a 2-game losing streak. They fell on Wednesday 11-4 against St. Vincent at home, and then again on March 16th they lost to the Wittenberg University Tigers 14-5, also at home. Prior to that, Marietta rattled off 3 straight victories over Franciscan, at Virginia Wesleyan, and at Washington and Jefferson. That Washington and Jefferson win, a dominant performance by the Pioneers as they won that 20-2. The Pioneers will go left to right in this first quarter. The Yellow Jackets will go right to left. Both teams aligned in front of their benches, getting ready for the national anthem as well as the introduction of the starting lineups for today's game. It's the OAC opener for both teams. The Yellow Jackets have been dominant in regular season play in the Ohio Athletic Conference over the last 2 seasons, and they are looking to keep that trend going starting today against the Pioneers. Marietta will be in blue uniforms with white shorts, white trim, white numerals and lettering, Marietta written across the chest of the jersey. They have blue helmets with white cages on the front. The Yellow Jackets in yellow jerseys with brown and a white trim, call it gold jerseys, with brown lettering and numerals, Baldwin Wallace written across the front chest, and white helmets with the Yellow Jacket logo on one side and the number of the corresponding players on the other side. Starting it off for the Pioneers in goal, a 6'2 junior from Chagrin Falls and Kenston High School, number 1, Ben Millard. On a face-off / midfield, a 5'11 senior from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, number 2, Nate Neal. On attack, a 6'1 senior from Pittsburgh, number 3, Chase Franklin. At midfield, a 5'11 freshman from Ellicott City, Maryland, number 6, Caden Alkier. At midfield, a 5'10 sophomore from Troy, Michigan, number 12, Brett Dickerson. On defense, a 6-foot junior from Pittsburgh, number 18, Carson Meckler. On attack, a 5'10 senior from Pittsburgh, number 21, Logan Podgorski. On attack, a 5'10 sophomore from Murraysville, Pennsylvania, number 34, Tyler Rich. At midfield, a 5'10 sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 37, Barrett Lindell. And on defense, a 5'11 sophomore from Meadville, Pennsylvania, number 40, Alan Schwab. The Pioneers are coached by Ben Sakoma, who is in his second season. He is a 2018 graduate of Walsh University. He is assisted by Ian Gonzalez. Starting it off for the Yellow Jackets in goal, a 6'1 senior from Mason, Ohio, number 1, Samuel Lopiccolo. On attack, a 6'6 senior from Medina, number 4, Jake Nanoski. At midfield, a 6'2 freshman from Hilliard-Davidson High School, number 5, Noah Dodgen. On attack, a 6-foot sophomore from Pickerington North High School, number 7, Bennett Trout. At midfield, a 5'8 sophomore from Thomas Worthington High School, number 12, Nate Hoover. At midfield, a 6-foot sophomore from Westerville Central High School, number 25, Ian Sheely. On defense, a 5'8 sophomore from Grand Rapids, Michigan, number 26, Ethan Hingson. On defense, a 5'10 freshman from Clarkston, Michigan, number 27, Gavin Pate. At midfield, a 6-foot sophomore from Fairport, New York, number 33, Jake Kuhnman. And on defense, a 6'2 sophomore from Greensboro, North Carolina, number 37, Loudon Peters. Once again, the Pioneers will be in blue. They will go left to right here in this first quarter of play. The Yellow Jackets in gold will go right to left. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospital, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. And Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Tonight's match is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game against the Marietta College Pioneers on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. The teams meet at midfield. They're given their final instructions by the officials. The goalkeepers will shake hands and head to their respective goals. Now, everybody else on the field will do the same. It's Millard versus Lopiccolo in the net, but at faceoff for the Yellow Jackets, it will be Zach Soul who will take it against Nate Neal. It's taken by the Pioneers initially. Now it's a free ball. Still in the center circle. Battled for. Kicked out by the Pioneers. And it will be scooped up and flipped away by Marietta. And now Marietta will come away with it. Chase Franklin with it. He'll run back toward midfield. Give the face-off men a chance to run off. Get some substitutions. And he will give it away to Thomas Zerman, who comes on. Zerman then feeds it to Sam Leininger. Leininger with it. Gets checked off his mark. Has to back it out. Tries to attack once more. The Yellow Jackets doing a good job to keep him away from the cage. Franklin with it now. Sends it left side. And it's back to Zerman. Zerman looking for a driving lane. It's not there. He'll send it left side. Shot goes wide of the net and into the protective netting. It'll stay with Marietta. 34 seconds left on the shot clock. Marietta going with the wind here in the first quarter. It's a stiff breeze that is in Berea today. The Yellow Jackets poke the ball away. It's scooped up and controlled by Ethan Hinkson. Hinkson absorbing several hits to the forearm before he brings the ball in to the attack zone. It gets sent out to Caleb Fox. Then it's sent over to the right side to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski behind the net. It goes to Dodgen over to Trout. Trout on the left side. Sends it out to Sheely. Sheely with the left side. Sends it out top. That's Kuhnman with it. He'll send it right side over to Hoover. Back to Sheely. Sheely back to Hoover, and it goes wide and into the Marietta bench. That's a Yellow Jacket turnover. It gets fired back to Millard. Now near side to Schwab. He sends it back to Millard. He'll send it left side now. That's Meckler with it. Meckler skips it back to Schwab. And Marietta having all sorts of trouble getting it across midfield. They finally do. Podgorski with it. Off on the right side. Feigns it past middle. Takes it behind the net. Kicks it out to Neal. Neal gets a screen, gets out top. He'll back it out. Look for an attack. Gets knocked off his spot, gave it away to Leininger. Leininger sends it left side once more to Zerman. Shot toward the net, deflected, and it will be Pioneer possession. 23 seconds left on the play clock. And it's Franklin with it. Behind the cage. Runs to the right of the cage. An infraction against the Pioneers leads to a turnover. The Yellow Jackets hustling down the field. That's Sheely with it. He lobs it into the attack zone. And making a nice catch with it was Kuhnman. He'll send it to Trout behind the net over to Dodgen. Now to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski with it right side. Backs it out, gives it off to Reichen Gieselhart. Gieselhart sends it left side to Kuhnman. Gieselhart out top. Sends it right side. That's Hoover with it. Hoover on the drive. Lobs it behind the net. That's Trout. Tries to get it outside to Gieselhart. He will. Back to Nanoski on the right side. Back to Gieselhart. He fires it towards the net, and it goes into the snow pile past the end line. It will be Yellow Jacket possession. It's whistled back in. Dodgen out to Nanoski. Nanoski to Gieselhart once more. Now to Kuhnman. Back to Gieselhart. Over to Nanoski right side. On the wing. Nanoski fires it low. Left side and buries it for the Yellow Jacket tally. Nanoski picks up the unassisted tally. He came in tied fourth in goals scored, trailing only Kuhnman, Sheely, and Trout. That's now Nanoski's 8th tally on the season. Zoll in the faceoff circle, called for an infraction. Possession will go to the Pioneers. It's Dickerson with it across midfield. Dickerson sends a pass right side to Franklin. Now out top it goes to number 4, Josh Walters, 6'1" junior midfielder from Taylor High School in Cleves. Nate Neal with it, left side now. Neal driving toward the crease. Now waits a screen, gets around it, fires it towards the net. Lopiccolo with the save. It's scooped up by the Yellow Jackets. That's Caleb Fox hustling down the field. Into the attack zone he goes. He'll send it right side to Nanoski. Nanoski sends it back left side to Trout. Trout winds up as if he were going to shoot. Then he dumps it off to a teammate, gets it right back. It was Logan Laffler who had possession, and the Yellow Jackets tally another one. As there were several players hustling back to sub out, the Yellow Jackets get a goal as Noah Bartos, the senior midfielder from Lancaster, New York, buries it in the back of the net. 2-0 Yellow Jackets, 9:47 to go here in this first quarter of play. Now in the face-off circle for the Yellow Jackets, freshman Evan Vetter, a 5'8", first-year student from Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, and Seneca Valley High School. He's drawn against Noah Neal. Neal comes away with it. It'll get sent off right side to Franklin. Franklin backs it off toward the sideline, letting his teammates sub in so the Pioneers can get some fresh legs on the attack. Franklin jogs it all the way behind the net. Goes off right side, sends it behind the cage once more. The Yellow Jackets trying to check the Pioneers off their spot. It gets sent out top to Zerman. Now on the right side, he fires it towards the net, and possession will stay with the Pioneers. Lopiccolo did the splits to try and keep that ball out of the net. Unfortunately for him, it went wide of both the cage and his right leg. Walters with it. It's checked off his spot. Sends it behind the net. Now out to Zerman. He fires it towards the net, and the Pioneers are on the board. The Yellow Jackets lead down to 1 as Marietta responds very quickly after the Yellow Jacket goal, taking 1 minute and 1 second to get themselves on the scoreboard and get the deficit back to 1. So face off once more with Vetter and Neal. The ball's down on the ground. And they will dig after it. And it's Vetter who comes away with it. He's into the attack zone. Sends it left side to Trout. Trout thought about a quick shot, then backs it out. It's dodging over to Nanoski. Nanoski on the right wing. Backs it out. Lets some substitutions come on. It's Gieselhardt who sends it over to Sheely. Sheely over to Kuhnman. Kuhnman sends it right side to Nanoski. Nanoski on the drive. Fires it towards the net. It's wide left side of the cage. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets. Trout with it to Sheely. Out top to Kuhnman, rather. Now to Nanoski, right side. Back to Kuhnman. He fires it towards the net, and it's wide past the end line. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets. Bennett Trout will get it and put it back in play over to Sheely. Back to Trout. Trout on the drive. Goes high and right side with it. Sends it out the sideline, and the Yellow Jackets will yield possession to the Pioneers as Millard tracks it down. He lobs it up the field, and it's taken away by the Yellow Jackets. Open cage. It's Trout, and he'll back it out with the Yellow Jackets trying to reset. Shot on goal is wide into the left side by Ryan Frankovic. It will stay with the Yellow Jackets. Dodgen puts it in play to Trout. Over to Sheely. Now out top to Kuhnman. Kuhnman right side to Nanoski. Nanoski winding up like he wants to shoot and gives it off to Kuhnman. Now to Sheely. He fires it towards the net and he buries it. Upper right corner for the goal. The Yellow Jackets back in front by 2. They lead it 3-1 with 7:23 to go in the first quarter. Soul versus Neal in the face-off circle once more. The Yellow Jackets do a good job to alternate between Vetter and Soul. Marietta relying solely on Neal right now. It's controlled by the Yellow Jackets, hustling after it. Owen Tafe. Tafe with it, sends it right side to Nanoski. The Yellow Jackets getting on some substitutions as it goes behind the cage to Dodge and now to Trout on the left side. Trout waiting for some reinforcements, gives it off to Hoover. Hoover lobs it out front to Kuhnman. Back to Hoover, who will jog left side out top, now send a pass right side to Nanoski. Hoover with it, sends it left wing now to Kuhnman, who delivers it right to Nanoski on the right side. Nanoski thought he lost it, kept it in the pocket, gave it off to Kuhnman. Now it goes right side once more to Gieselhart, behind the net to Dodgen, out front to Hoover. Hoover sends it left side to Kuhnman. 18 seconds left on the play clock. Out front it goes to Hoover. Over to Nanoski on the right side. Nanoski winds, fires, and it's saved. Rebound picked up and put home by the Yellow Jackets. Jake Kuhnman buries it off the deflection. Kuhnman came into today's game third on the team with 9 goals. That's now his 10th tally of the season. Only Bennett Trout with 14 and Ian Sheely with 11 have more than Jake Kuhnman on the season. Timeout on the field called by the Pioneers. And while we have this break in the action, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospital, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. And Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game against the Marietta College Pioneers on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. Neal versus Soul in the face-off circle. The Yellow Jackets in front 4-1 over the Marietta Pioneers with 6:07 left here in the first quarter of play. Soul will scoop it up and hustling in the attack zone. Fires it toward the net. Bounced it a little bit too far out of the crease and it flipped over the net. Yellow Jackets will retain possession. It's Dodgen who puts it in play to Trout. Trout gets a screen and sends it out front to Nanoski. Nanoski drops back, letting the Yellow Jackets get on some substitutions. Gives it out front to Sheely. He feigns a pass right, jogs off left wing. He winds, fires it, buries it from 15 yards out. Ian Sheely buries it upper right corner for the Yellow Jacket goal. It's 5-1 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. 5:34 to go here in the first quarter of play. Soul versus Neal on the face-off once more. Soul really got that started for the Yellow Jackets by getting Neal to lean to his right and then scooping it up, going to his left before helping lead the charge that led to the Yellow Jackets' latest tally. Marietta, however, picks up the face-off win this time around. It's Neal lobbing it down the field. And then it'll be sent from Devin Hirschberger to Thomas Zerman. Zerman off left side. Feigns the jog behind the cage. Now goes off left wing once more. Out top, fires it towards the net, and it will go past the end line, but it will stay with the Pioneers. It's put back in play. That's Neal with it. The Bethel Park, Pennsylvania native looking for a driving lane. Now gets a screen from Zerman. Fires it towards the net, and he scores. Neal, not even really looking at the net, straight on, buries the goal to break the Yellow Jackets string of 3 straight tallies. It's now 5-2 in favor of the Yellow Jackets with 4:42 left in this first quarter of play. Neal out of his peripheral, able to see an opportunity to score, and he rocketed it home past Lopiccolo. Vetter taking the faceoff for the Yellow Jackets. Dickerson taking it for the Pioneers. And an infraction's called against the Yellow Jackets. So possession goes over to Marietta. It gets lobbed over to Josh Walters. Walters hustling towards the attack zone. Backs up near midfield. Tries to attack, loses his footing, keeps possession though. Gives it off to Zerman. Zerman looks to the bench, then draws the attention of Noah Bartos of the Yellow Jackets. He'll send it over to Chase Franklin on the right side. Franklin behind the cage now. Charges left side, loses a handle on it. It's scooped up by the Yellow Jackets. It gets outletted to Frankovic. He hustles into the attack zone. Sends it left side to Trout. Fires it on net. And what a beautiful save by Ben Millard on the deflection. Possession will stay with the Yellow Jackets, but credit Millard with the quick reflexes to get his stick in front of the shot and knock it out of bounds. The play clock is reset to 60 seconds. A brief stoppage in play. Sheely with it. Sends it out front to Hoover. Now to Donoski on the right side. Donoski behind the net to Dodgen. Trying to get it out front to Hoover. It's knocked loose, but Gieselhart will track it down over to Sheely. Back out front to Gieselhart. Back to Sheely now. Sheely left side. Sends it to Donoski on the right side. Donoski over to Dodgen. Dodgen from behind the net. Bounces it in for the Yellow Jacket tally. Puts it low left side off the bounce and into the cage for the goal. Dodgen's second goal of the season gives the Yellow Jackets a 6-2 advantage with 3:01 left in the first quarter of play from Tressel Field. Vetter will draw for the Yellow Jackets against Neal of the Pioneers. Good face-off battle there. Vetter scoots it out of the circle, scoops it up, gives it to Trout left side. Behind the net it goes to number 14, Keaton Trout. Over to Jake Nanoski. He'll draw back, giving some of the Yellow Jackets time to get some substitutions. Now it's Sheely with it off left side. Over to Bennett Trout, now to Keaton Trout. Over to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski thought about winding up and firing it, but he'll kick it out. Now to Kuhnman, get it right back. Nanoski over to Hoover on the right side. Hoover on the drive, kicks it behind the net. That's Keaton Trout. He'll give it to Sheely, who loses it on the deflection. Now a battle ensues, and Sheely will scoop it up. He'll send it behind the net to Bennett Trout. Trout over to Kuhnman. And illegal procedure called against the Yellow Jackets. That's a turnover for BW. Alan Schwab with it. Gives it to Millard. Sends it left side to Meckler. Now across midfield with Leininger. Zerman with it off left side. Zerman battles through some checks from Bartos and sends it right side. He'll give a screen for Nate Neal. Neal out top. Sends it left side. Fire on net by the Pioneers. It's past the end line. That was Leininger on the shot. It'll be Marietta with possession. 41 seconds left on the play clock. Play is whistled back in. Zerman hustles after it and gets the pass from his teammate. Behind the goal now. Goes off right side out to Franklin. Under a minute left in this first quarter of play from Tressel Field. Yellow Jackets in front 6-2. Marietta looking to cut into that deficit. Franklin with it. Out front to Neal. Neal fires it towards the goal. And it is past the end line. Marietta will have 9 seconds left to try and do something with it. Zerman will get the signal from the official. We're back underway. Check that that's Rich with it. It's sent over left side. And that will bring the first quarter of play to the possession for the Pioneers to a close. The Yellow Jackets still have 30 seconds to see if they can get another tally. It's Kuhnman with it. Off near sideline. He'll send it to Bennett Trout. Now to Dodgen. Dodgen over to Nanoski. Nanoski out top to Kuhnman. Kuhnman fires it towards the net. Off the crossbar. And out of bounds. Possession will favor the Pioneers with 9 seconds left here in the first quarter of play. We're back underway with Justin Collings. Over to Franklin. Franklin on the drive. Can't get a shot. And now he'll dish it back to Podgorski, who is wide of the cage. And the Yellow Jackets will take a 6-2 lead over Marietta into the second quarter of play. Before we step aside for a break, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospital, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, and Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse action against Marietta on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. We'll be back with second quarter action after this brief break on BWYellowJackets.com. Zach Soul versus Nate Neal on the face-off to start the second quarter of play. They switch ends, so the Yellow Jackets will defend the left north goal here at Tressel Field. The Marietta Pioneers will defend the goal off to our right, which is the south goal. A little bit of a delay getting the second quarter started as the officials meet with Soul and Neal. Yellow Jackets in front, 6-2. In this four-quarter affair, we're about to start the second quarter of play. And Soul will win the draw. Scoop it up as he heads out of the circle. And the Yellow Jackets and Pioneers will get on some substitutions as Soul sends it over to Nanoski. Nanoski right side. Sends it to Dodgen, who skips it over to Trout on the left side of the field, far side. This time down, Nanoski with it. On the right side, he sends it out top to Gieselhart, now to Hoover. Hoover off to the left on the drive. Sends it to Sheely, and it gets sent wide of the goal. The Yellow Jackets will retain possession. It's Dodgen who will track it down. Noah Dodgen will get the signal from the official and put it back in play with a pass to Bennett Trout. Out front to Ian Sheely. Sends it over right side to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski on to drive, puts it towards the net, and buries it for the Yellow Jacket tally. Jake Nanoski gives the Yellow Jackets a 5-goal edge, 7-2 with 14:04 left in the first half. Nanoski picks up the unassisted goal. That's his second on the day. He is fourth on the team in scoring. Came in fourth with 7. He now has 9. And Jake Kuhnman has another tally for the Yellow Jackets. He had 9 to start. Now he has 10. So the Yellow Jackets, one Jake Nanoski goal away from having 4 scorers in double figures on the season. Soul with the faceoff, kicks it back to his right, trying to scoop it up, and he will in the defensive zone. He fires it back to Lopiccolo and heads toward the sideline. Lopiccolo lobs it up near midfield to Bartos, who crosses midfield. Sends it down over to Noah Dodgen. Dodgen on the drive. Draws back. Gives it to Bartos, now behind the net to Bennett Trout. Trout out front to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski with it off right side now. Looking for a driving lane. Yellow Jackets get a late boost with Hoover. Hoover charging towards the crease. Forced to change direction to his left side. He'll give it over to Kuhnman, who rockets it home for the Yellow Jacket tally. 8-2, BW in front, 13-13 left in this first half. Nate Hoover picked up the assist on the Yellow Jacket goal. And we're back to the faceoff circle once more with Neal drawing for the Pioneers and Zach Soul taking it for the Yellow Jackets. Soul doing a good job to push Neal away and scoop up the ball. He hustles down the field, loses it out of his pocket. It's scooped up by the Yellow Jackets, however, sent over to Jake Nanoski by Owen Tafe. Heads up play by Tafe to keep the possession for the Yellow Jackets. Dodging out to Trout on the left side. That's Bennett Trout. He winds up and fires. It's kicked away by Millard, but it's controlled by Ian Sheely. Out front it goes to Jake Kuhnman. Kuhnman working against Dickerson. Kuhnman off right side, out top to Gieselhart. He feigns the pass left wing, drives towards the net, and fires it wide and low. Yellow Jackets will keep possession. 39 seconds left on the shot clock, and it's Bennett Trout behind the cage. And he gets sent to the turf. Keeps possession, though. Fires it towards the net, and it's saved by the Pioneers. Carson Meckler with it. He'll send it back to Millard, who reverses it right side, then gets it back from Alan Schwab. It skips over Millard and past the stick of Carson Meckler, and it's out of bounds, claimed by the Yellow Jackets. That's Jake Nanoski with it behind the cage of Dodgen. Dodgen goes out front and buries it home for the Yellow Jackets. He goes low, left side, and puts it in for the Yellow Jacket goal. It's now 9-2 in favor of the Yellow Jackets with 11:51 to play here in the first half. That's Dodgen's second of the day and third overall on the season. And Nanoski picked up the helper. Soul versus Neal in the face-off circle. The signal is given, and Soul trying to get low to scoop that ball out. It pops out of the circle. Soul continues to give chase, and it will be controlled by the Pioneers. Scooping it up is Jake Grube. He's near midfield. He loses a handle on it, and the Yellow Jackets trying to give chase to it. It goes out along the sideline, and possession favors Marietta. Nope. The official changes his call and says possession to the Yellow Jackets instead. And now the Marietta coaching staff would like a chat with the officials. Play continues on with the Yellow Jackets in possession. It's Kuhnman with it off left side. He drives, kicks it off to Gieselhart with a shot, and what a save by Millard, who stuck the big pocket out there and scooped up the shot. Yellow Jackets force a turnover. That's Gavin Pate who causes it. It's controlled by Jake Kuhnman. A stoppage in play. The Yellow Jackets whistled for an infraction. Possession goes over to the Marietta Pioneers. Barrett Lindell with it. He will get the signal from the official. Play is underway. Once more, he'll lob it deep down the field. It's picked off by Lopiccolo. Lopiccolo 20 yards away from his cage. Gives it off to Nanoski. And the Yellow Jackets once again whistled for an infraction. And another turnover. Back-to-back possessions without a shot for the Yellow Jackets. Marietta hustling it down the field. That's Franklin with it. He sends it out to Zerman. Zerman sends it right side. It's deflected, and it'll be poked away and scooped up by Caleb Fox of the Yellow Jackets. He's across midfield. Now on the attack, fires it towards the net, goes low and wide of the cage. Yellow Jackets will keep possession. Jake Nanoski will take the pass from Dodgen. Another issue signaled against the Yellow Jackets, and we will have a stoppage in play. The timeout charged to the Marietta Pioneers. That is their second and final timeout of the first half. While we have this break in the action, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, and Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. 10:07 left in the first half after the Pioneers called their second and final timeout of this first half. It's the Yellow Jackets in front, 9-2. BW in the midst of a 3-game homestand. Their next home game will be on Friday, March 29th. It's a 1 o'clock start, so an early Friday afternoon game against the Otterbein Cardinals. Once again, another Ohio Athletic Conference matchup. The Yellow Jackets with possession out of the timeout. Dodgen will get the signal from the official when we're ready to start play. He lobs it right wing to Sheely, out front to Kuhnman. It was left wing, excuse me. Now it's on the right wing with Jake Nanoski. Nanoski gets a screen from Hoover, who got absolutely crushed, and the Yellow Jackets will be called for the infraction. The Pioneers will get possession. It's Collings with it. Now it gets dropped back to Millard. It's stolen away by the Yellow Jackets. Nanoski with the empty net tally. He had no Pioneer in front of him, and he walked it towards the net and put it low and in the back for the goal. That's your hat trick for Nanoski on the day. The Yellow Jackets now with a 10-2 lead over the Pioneers. Vetter versus Neal in the faceoff circle. The officials having a long conversation before the ball is placed at midfield. It's scooped back into the Yellow Jacket defensive zone and controlled by BW. A behind-the-neck pass gets to Lopiccolo, who's way out of his cage. He sends it up the near sideline to Tafe. Tafe across midfield. Over to Jake Nanoski on the left side, or right side. Out front to Kuhnman off the post, and it will be controlled by Bennett Trout. Now he gets it poked away. He's trying to check one of the Pioneers away from it, and it will roll near the sideline, and it will be out of bounds off of the Yellow Jackets. Marietta with it. Justin Collings will control it back to Zerman. Zerman drops it back to Schwab. Now it goes over to Millard. He'll send it left side to Lindell. Lindell sends it right side to Schwab. Schwab tries to get it across midfield, and the Yellow Jackets force the turnover. .8:41 left in this first half. Yellow Jackets in firm control as they lead at 10-2. As Keaton Trout, who will start play, gets sent behind the goal to Noah Dodgen, now out front to Ryan Janssens. Over to Keaton Trout, back to Janssens. Janssens with it, behind the net to Dodgen. Dodgen out front to Nanoski. And it's scooped up by Millard. Millard gets a pass back and sends it near sideline to Meckler. Meckler back to Millard. He'll lob it down the field. It's stolen away by the Yellow Jackets. Coming away with the takeaway is Logan Laffler. Sends it to Bennett Trout left side, and Trout puts it home for the Yellow Jacket tally. BW now in front 11-2 with 7:47 to go in the half. Trout picks up his first goal of the game. Laffler with his first assist in the contest as well. That's his first point of the season for the sophomore from Verona, Wisconsin, Verona Area High School. Vetter on to take the draw for the Yellow Jackets. Neal will win it for the Pioneers. The flag flies from two officials. Make that all three as the Pioneers get a deflection on a pass, and it goes past Lopiccolo for the goal. Josh Walters credited with the goal. The junior midfielder now has 7 on the season. Good for 4th on the Pioneers. Chase Franklin leads the way with 20. Nate Neal has 18. And Tyler Rich has 7. Check that. Walters will be credited with an assist instead of a goal. Vetter versus Neal. Vetter backs down Neal, kicks it out of the circle, scoops it up, sends it left side to Bennett Trout. Trout calling for a screen from Vetter, gets it, feigns the pass to him, now sends it behind the cage to Dodgen to Nanoski. Nanoski over to Hoover. Hoover sends it left side to Sheely. Into the crease, it's Bennett Trout firing a shot toward the goal, but it's wide, and Dodgen will get it to restart play. Sends it to Gieselhart. Gieselhart out front to Bennett Trout, fires it wide of the cage once more. Yellow Jackets will keep possession. 52 seconds left on the play clock. It's Dodgen with it. Dodgen out front. Draws the attention of Millard away from the goal and puts it in the net for the Yellow Jacket tally. 12-3. Yellow Jackets in front. 6:40 to go in the half. Zach Soul and Nate Neal will head to the face-off circle once more. Yellow Jackets in less than 9 minutes time, 8 minutes and 20 seconds, matched their entire first quarter output. They scored 6 in the first, led it 6-2. Now they lead at 12-3, 6-1 scoring advantage in the second quarter. Dodgen collects the turnover, but the Yellow Jackets are whistled for an infraction, and Marietta will get it. It's Zerman with it. Zerman driving right side. Skips over Bennett Trout. Now slides it past a host of Yellow Jackets before it's taken away by Gavin Pate. Stoppage in play. And the possession will go back to Marietta. Walters with it. Off right side. Working against Noah Bartos. Walters goes behind the goal. Now backs it back out. Bartos right on his hip pocket. Giving him good battle for possession. Walter sends it behind the net where Rich has it. Rich loses it. Loses his balance at the same time. The Yellow Jackets will get possession. Owen Tafe with it. Sends it back to Low Piccolo. Low Piccolo sends it left side. Out to Hinkson. Across midfield it goes with Gieselhart now on the right side of the field near sideline to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski behind the net to Noah Dodgen. Dodgen over to Bennett Trout. Trout spin move. Gets toward the crease and backs it back out. Kicks it over to Kuhnman. Kuhnman passes it to Sheely. Sheely off to Kuhnman left side. He fires it towards the goal, and it is wide, but the Yellow Jackets will keep possession. Dodgen restarts the play with a pass to Kuhnman. Kuhnman over to Nanoski right side. Nanoski sends it over to Sheely, who loses a handle on it, but gets it right back. One of the Pioneers overran it. Nanoski with the shot wide of the goal. Bennett Trout will be given the signal to restart play. Trout behind the net to Sheely. Over to Dodgen on the right side. Dodgen back to Sheely. Out front it goes to Kuhnman. Kuhnman looking for a shooting lane. Finds it and buries it low right side. He got the goalie going to his right, to the left of the post of the cage, and then buries it far right side. Yellow Jackets in front by 10. 13-3 with 4:14 to go here in the first half. Soul versus Neal in the face-off circle. It's won by Soul once more. He gives it off to Caleb Fox and heads off the field so the Yellow Jackets can get an attack substitution. And it's Hunter Boehm with it. Behind the net it goes to Dodgen, now to Jake Nanoski on the right side. Nanoski out front. It gets sent back to Keaton Trout on the left side. Keaton Trout gives it back to Janssens. Now to Noah Dodgen. Dodgen behind the net to Bennett Trout. Now to Keaton Trout on the left wing. Over to Janssens. He fires it towards the net. It's off the post, off a deflection from Millard, and Millard will scoop it up. He outlets it to Carson Meckler. Meckler back to Millard. Millard over to Alan Schwab, who drops it back to Millard. Millard challenged by Noah Dodgen. Flag flies as Marietta catches it across midfield. And tracking it down for the Pioneers, Logan Podgorski. He stepped on the line, but kept on the right side of it. Did not get called for an over and back. And now Marietta with the goal as Chase Franklin beats Sam LoPiccolo low near side. Marietta's backup goaltender, James Chipolone, a 6-foot junior keeper from Forest Hill, Maryland, and Calvert Hall College, warming up to the far left of the Marietta bench. Marietta cuts the deficit to 9, 13-4, 2:45 to go here in the first half. Neal to draw for the Pioneers against Soul for the Yellow Jackets. Play is signaled in, and it's Soul with it. Runs it back, fires it to Lopiccolo. It gets lobbed down the field, and it will be scooped up out of bounds. Actually, it goes out of bounds off of the Yellow Jackets. Then the Pioneers will take possession of it. That's Brett Dickerson with it. Dropping it back to Barrett Lindell. Lindell over to Schwab on the far sideline. Schwab across midfield. And that's Sam Leininger with it. Over to Nate Neal. Neal out front to Walters. Walters now runs off right side. Gives it to Neal. Neal fires it towards the net, and it's saved by Lopiccolo. He outlets it to Bartos. Bartos sprinting across midfield. Gets into the attack zone. Dumps it right in front of the cage to Dodgen. Now to Nanoski, who scoops it up after it trickles away from him off a deflection. Back to Noah Dodgen. Dodgen back to Nanoski. Nanoski out front to Hoover. Hoover feigns the shot, sends it right side. Shot on goal for the Yellow Jackets, and it's in. It's Carson Grizovic with the Yellow Jacket tally. The 5'7" freshman attacker from Walton, Kentucky, in Walton Verona High School, buries the goal and gives the Yellow Jackets another 10-goal advantage. They lead at 14-4 with 1:27 to go in the half. Soul versus Neal in the face-off circle. Yellow Jackets putting on an offensive clinic today. 6 goals in the first, 8 in the second. And we still have close to 90 seconds left. Soul and Neal having a great battle in the face-off circle. Neither giving an inch, and it's Zach Soul who will scoop it up. He sends it middle. It skips over one Yellow Jacket. Gets to Grizovic once more. He fires a shot that's wide of the goal. And Noah Dodgen with it. He gives it off to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski sends it out top to Sheely. Sheely sends it over to Gieselhart on the left side of the floor or field. Gieselhart back to Sheely. Now to Gieselhart. Fakes the pass to Hoover. Sends it to Dodgen behind the cage. Dodgen looking for a quick shot. It's wide of the goal. It's tracked down by Grizovic. Grizovic with it. Sends it out. Or fakes the pass, I should say, to Hoover, then skips it over to Sheely. Sheely backs it out. Sends it over to Nate Hoover on the left side. Hoover on the drive. Kicks it out once more to Gieselhart. He fires it on net. It's saved by Millard. It'll be tracked down by Gieselhart. Now scooped up by the Pioneers. Sent high into the air. Good checks back and forth between the Pioneers and Yellow Jackets. BW controls it. Nanoski with a shot. Sends it wide of the cage. He had Millard going low, and he tried to go high, but he curved it a little bit too much and sent it wide of the open net. 1 second left in the half, and Grizovic will be given the signal. He tosses it to Sheely, and it will expire the first half clock. The Yellow Jackets take a 14-4 lead into the halftime break. While we have this opportunity, once more I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes, and Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotudo and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll have second half action for you between the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets and Marietta Pioneers right here on BWYellowJackets.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's men's lacrosse action on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. Matt Florjancic on the call of this one as the Yellow Jackets host the Marietta College Pioneers, and currently at the half, it's 14-4 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Leading the way for the Yellow Jackets, it's a trio of players with hat tricks: Jake Nanoski, Noah Dodgen, and Jake Kuhnman, each with 3 tallies. Kuhnman and Nanoski also have added assists on the day. Ian Sheely has 2 goals. Carson Grizovic, Bennett Trout, and Noah Bartos have 1 tally each. In the net, Sam Lopiccolo has 1 save. He has faced 12 shots. Nate Hoover leads the way in assists with 2. Bennett Trout and Logan Laffler each have 1 helper as well, in addition to Nanoski and Kuhnman. For the Marietta Pioneers, Nate Neal, Chase Franklin, Logan Podgorski, and Thomas Zernman each with 1 goal. Josh Walters with an assist. Sam Leininger with 2 assists. And Ben Millard in the goal has 3 saves on 40 shots faced. Team comparison, BW out shooting Marietta 40-12 with 17-5 shots on goal. Marietta leads in saves 3-1. Faceoffs 1, Yellow Jackets 12, Marietta 8. BW with 19 ground balls to just 4 for Marietta. BW 7 of 7 on clears. Marietta 6 of 7 on clears. The Pioneers have committed twice as many turnovers, 13 to the Yellow Jackets 6. BW has caused 8 of those turnovers as opposed to just 1 caused turnover for the Pioneers. Marietta has a new keeper in net. Ben Millard has been lifted for James Chipolone. The Yellow Jackets staying with Sam Lopiccolo, and BW with the ball now. Bennett Trout sends it behind the net to Noah Dodgen. Back to Bennett Trout. He sends it out front to Ian Sheely, back to Trout. He sends it to Noah Dodgen, who dives to keep it from going over the end line. Now Jake Nanoski with possession. Over to Gieselhardt. He fires it towards the cage, and it's deflected toward the end line. Bennett Trout will scoop it up. Send it out to Ian Sheely out top to Jake Kuhnman. Jake Nanoski with it. Back to Kuhnman. Now over to Sheely off a deflection. Sheely overruns it but scoops it back up. Sends it over to Bennett Trout. Bennett Trout back out front to Sheely. Over to Kuhnman. He bounces it towards the net. It's deflected high into the air and will be controlled by Noah Dodgen. Dodgen scoops it to Bennett Trout. Trout then scoops up the loose ball and sends it out to Ian Sheely. Sheely with it over to Kuhnman. Back to Sheely. Now to Gieselhardt on the left wing. Over to Trout. Trout trying to skip it over to Nanoski, and it will deflect out of bounds off of the Pioneers. The Yellow Jackets will stay with possession. Sheely out top with the pass from Jake Nanoski. He rockets it into the back of the goal for the Yellow Jacket tally. Ian Sheely gives the Yellow Jackets a 15-4 lead with 13:08 left in this third quarter. In the faceoff circle, it's Nate Neal for Marietta, Zach Soul for BW. Good battle ensues, and it will be Soul who will try and scoop it out. And now the Pioneers look like they're going to control it. It's pushed across the line by Caden Elkire, and he'll scoop it up. And then at the last second, he will dish it to Podgorski. And the Yellow Jackets will force a turnover. Owen Tafe with it. Hoover with it over to Nanoski right side. Nanoski skips it left side to Kuhnman. Now to Bennett Trout. Trout tried to get it close to the cage and then was backed out. Gives it off to Jake Kuhnman out front to Hoover. Back to Jake Nanoski. Nanoski to Hoover. Hoover moves to his right, then cuts back left. Gives it to Kuhnman, gets it right back. Jake Nanoski with it right side now. Nanoski over to Hoover. Back to Kuhnman. Yellow Jackets being very deliberate. Hoover out front over to Nanoski on the right wing. 19 seconds left on the play clock. Over to Noah Dodgen. Dodgen backs away from the cage. Kicks it out front. Trying to get it to Hoover. It's hustling toward the sideline, and it's out of bounds off of the Yellow Jackets. Chip alone with the lob pass down the field. It's stolen away by Noah Dodgen. Dodgen hustling down the field over to Nanoski right side. Nanoski fires it into the back of the net for the Yellow Jacket tally. They make Chipolone pay for the turnover near midfield as Dodgen with the goal, or with the assist on the Jake Nanoski goal. Now Nanoski has 4 in the game. Vetter will take the draw for the Yellow Jackets. Nate Neal will take the draw for the Pioneers. 11:05 left in this third quarter of play. The Yellow Jackets in front, 16-4. Vetter wins the draw. Sends it near midfield to Tafe. Tafe lets the Yellow Jackets get a couple substitutions before sending it into the attack zone to Bennett Trout. Bennett Trout backs it out, gives it to Tafe. Tafe takes it behind the goal. Out front to Nanoski. Nanoski off right side now. Nanoski over to Sheely. Sheely left side to Kuhnman. Kuhnman out front to Gieselhart. Now to Nanoski right wing. Nanoski winds up twice, can't fire it. Gieselhart will take it from him and bury it in the back of the goal for the Yellow Jacket tally. Ryken Gieselhart puts it home and gives the Yellow Jackets a 17-4 advantage with 10-12 left in the third quarter. Geiselhart with his first tally of the game. That's his second goal on the season. And Nanoski picks up his third helper. So he's got a hat trick plus 1 on goals and 3 helpers to go along with it. Vetter wins it quickly the other way to Bennett Trout, and he fires it low right side into the goal for another Yellow Jacket score. BW in front, 18-4. They keep it rolling. And now they're up by 14 with 10:04 left to go here in the third quarter. This is the Yellow Jackets' most prolific game offensively of the season. Their previous best was 16 goals, and they set it against Chatham last Wednesday afternoon or evening on March 13th. And we still have close to 25 minutes left in this game. Frankovic with it. Off to the far sideline. Now charges towards the crease. Sends a pass over to John Bartolotto. Over to Bennett Trout behind the net to Noah Dodgen. And the Yellow Jackets commit a turnover Unforced error as the Pioneers hustle across midfield. That's Brett Dickerson with it. The Yellow Jackets with a big hit near midfield. The flags fly, and play is stopped. As Frankovic got a little over-aggressive there. And now he is hobbling his way towards the sideline. Never a good thing to see as he reports to the penalty area and takes a knee. The officials with a long conversation at midfield. And the official gives the penalty signal to the scoring table on the field. Marietta will have possession. Neal with it. He sends it out front to Leininger. Over to Franklin on the right side. Back to Leininger. Back to Neal. Neal back to Leininger out front. Sends it down low to Rich. Skips over to Neal. His shot toward the net is blocked by the Yellow Jackets. It's controlled by Hingson, who gives it to Lopiccolo. Lopiccolo sends it right side back to Noah Bartos. He lobs it towards midfield where it's scooped up on a loose ball by the Marietta Pioneers. Marietta still controls it. That's Franklin. He initially lost the handle on it, working against Hunter Boehm, but kept possession. Gave it off to Josh Walters now. Walters behind the net with the pass to Rich. Shot on net by the Pioneers, sails wide. And a timeout is called by the Yellow Jackets. 8:18 left to go here in the third quarter. It's BW 18, Marietta 4. Yellow Jackets in firm control of this one, as they are looking to make it 2 straight victories after starting the year with 5 straight losses, including a couple close games at center and against Kenyon. The Yellow Jackets looking to get back in the win column once more. While we have this break in the action, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospitals, Trasinski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. And Dane Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection, LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game against the Marietta College Pioneers on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. .8:18 to go here in the third quarter of play. The Yellow Jackets lead it 18-4 over the Marietta College Pioneers. Leininger with it as play resumes. Gets behind the goal, sends it out top. Zerman with the shot. Zerman with the goal. He goes upper right corner and puts it home for the Marietta score. Zerman picks up his second goal of the game. Marietta still with plenty of work to do. They trail it by 13, but they have plenty of time to do it, as there's 23 minutes and 7 seconds left in regulation. 8:07 left in the third, and then a full 15-minute fourth quarter to try and cut into this deficit. Neal against Vetter, and it's won by Evan Vetter of the Yellow Jackets. Vetter gets checked off his mark and fumbles it out of bounds into the Marietta bench, much to the delight of the Pioneers. Barrett Lindell has it and will send it back to Chipolone. Chipolone fakes the pass to Schwab and runs it toward midfield, and then rifles it out of bounds, trying to get to Brett Dickerson, and left it too long. Now the Yellow Jackets will take possession. Play resumes, and it's Noah Bartos into the attack zone with a pass to Bennett Trout. Trout out front to Fox. Fox with a shot wide of the goal, and the Yellow Jackets will retain possession. Dodgen gets it, gives it to Trout after play resumes, gets it right back. Out to Jake Nanoski on the right wing. Nanoski sends it out to Hoover, back to Nanoski. Nanoski over to Sheely on the left wing. Sheely on a drive, spins to his left, gives it to Bennett Trout. Out front it goes to Kuhnman. Kuhnman to Nanoski. To Hoover on the right wing. Now it's to Nanoski. Back to Hoover. Over left wing to Kuhnman. Kuhnman backs it out. Sends it over to Nate Hoover. Back to Kuhnman. Back to Hoover now. Hoover with a move. Gets inside. Fires it towards the net. And it's saved by Chipolone. He'll outlet it near side. And Dodgen giving a fight for the possession, and he will get possession for the Yellow Jackets as it's out of bounds off of Marietta. Dodgen to Trout behind the goal. Out front to Kuhnman. Kuhnman fires a shot towards the net, and it's saved by Chipolone. Chipolone sends it out to Schwab near side. Schwab sends it back over to Meckler. Meckler sends it back to Schwab. Schwab now to Chipolone. He'll lob it down the field and overshoots a couple of his teammates, and it will be a turnover by the Pioneers. The Yellow Jackets will get possession. Jamel Duncan III on the field for the Yellow Jackets. Turnover by BW, and Podgorski will put home the Pioneer goal. Goes upper right side and beats Lo Piccolo for the tally.
Goal Marietta by number 21, Logan Podgorski, his second. Assisted by number 34, Tyler Rich, his first.
Tyler Rich picked up the assist, his first tally of the day. Vetter versus Neal, and an infraction is called. Possession awarded to the Pioneers. 5:45 to go here in the third quarter. BW in front, 18-6 over the Marietta Pioneers. Zerman runs it down the field into the attack zone. Sends it over to Neal on the far sideline. Neal trying to drive towards the crease, getting knocked off his mark by Bartos. Fires it towards the net. It's saved by Lo Piccolo. He outlets it to Bartos. Bartos hustles down across midfield. Gets his stick knocked out of his hands by Chase Franklin. Franklin gets put on his backside by Caleb Fox, and Fox scoops up the loose ball. Stoppage in play And the flag flew. It's against the Yellow Jackets. And Caleb Fox will be sent to the penalty area. He'll take a knee in front of the scorer's table. Yellow Jackets will play a man down. The Pioneers have it. It's Neal with it. Neal sends it over to Franklin. Back to Neal. Neal trying to get a pass to Walters. It's deflected by the Yellow Jackets, but Walters will control it. Sends it behind the net. Gets reversed to Leininger. Leininger with it. Fakes the handoff. Sent out to Franklin, who swings an empty stick as the ball popped out of his pocket and was scooped up by the Yellow Jackets. Bennett Trout goes low to receive a pass from Owen Tafe, and the pass was off the mark and out of bounds. Off the Yellow Jackets, Marietta will get possession. Chipolone sends it over to Lindell on the far side. It's tipped away momentarily by the Yellow Jackets, but controlled once more by Marietta. Gorski with it. Sends it out to Nick Bender. Bender over to Zerman, now to Leininger. Over to Franklin. Franklin off right side. Franklin with it. Called for a screen from Rich and then gave it to Rich. Rich working against Tafe. Gives it to Zerman. Zerman around a screen. Scoops it back over now to Bender. And Bender has it deflected out of his stick. A big scrum ensues and it's scooped up by the Yellow Jackets. Little Piccolo will drop out of his net to receive a pass from Loudon Peters. Now across midfield. Flag flies. Yellow Jackets play on. It's Hunter Boehm with it. It gets sent behind the net to Dodgen. He had an open look at the cage, and then it was taken away quickly. He catches a deflection twice before it's sent over to Bennett Trout now. Trout with a very methodical look as the Yellow Jackets run on some substitutions. Jake Nanoski gets it on the right side of the field. Lobs it to Nate Hoover. Hoover with a pass back to Nanoski right side. Nanoski back to Hoover. Hoover on a drive has to back out. Slips it in the middle to Eiselhart, and it's wide of the goal. But the Yellow Jackets will retain possession. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. And it's Bennett Trout with the ball, waiting for the signal from the officials. Long pause as one of the Pioneers is sent off for an infraction. The official communicates that to the scorer's table. The shot clock also has been reset to 60. Trout out to Kuhnman, now to Sheely, over to Nanoski right side. Nanoski passes to Dodgen and gets it to Sheely, now to Geiselhart, over to Kuhnman, fires it low near side and sneaks it into the goal for the Yellow Jacket score. BW now leads at 19-6 with 1:52 to go here in the third quarter of play. Geiselhart picks up the helper on the goal for the Yellow Jackets. Soul and Neal will face off for possession. The Yellow Jackets called for an infraction, so Marietta will get possession. Dickerson will scoop it up, bring it across midfield. Into the attack zone, now backs it out. Dickerson has it poked away, but it's scooped up by Walters. He gives Walters a screen. Walters trying to get closer to the goal, but is backed out by the Yellow Jackets. Sends a pass to Thomas Zernman. Zerman with it. Zerman has it poked away, and it will be tracked down by Nate Neal. Under a minute to go, left in the third. It's Franklin with it for the Pioneers. Fakes the shot, and it takes it behind the goal. Sends it out to the right wing to Neal. Neal lobs it behind the goal, and it is missed. The intended target was Tyler Rich. It was too tall for him, and now the Yellow Jackets will get possession. Peters sends it over to Noah Bartos on the near sideline. Bartos trying to get it across midfield, will do so. Sends it over to Bennett Trout in the corner. Trout behind the goal to Noah Dodgen. Dodgen out to Nanoski. Nanoski out front to Geiselhart. Geiselhart to Bennett Trout. He fakes a shot, drives towards the goal, left it short, and it's scooped up by the Pioneers on the loose ball. Caden Alkire has it, lobs it down the field, and they're going to say that he stepped out of bounds. The Yellow Jackets will get another possession here late in the third quarter. 11 seconds to go. Sheely with it. Sheely to Geiselhart in the middle. It deflects off of his stick. Bennett Trout trying to give it a run, and then Trout gets frustrated with one of the Pioneers and hits him high. Now the Pioneers teammates will back away number 25, Tyler Lanham. The third quarter will come to a close. Baldwin Wallace in front, 19-6 after 3 quarters of play. When we have this break in the action, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. And Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Today's game is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll have fourth quarter action for you between the Yellow Jackets and the Pioneers on BWYellowJackets.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. The teams have switched ends, and we're about ready to get the fourth quarter underway. The Yellow Jackets in front of the Pioneers, 19-6. Neal on the draw for the Yellow Jackets, taking it against Gavin Flack, a 6-foot sophomore midfielder from Reno, Nevada, Robert McQueen High School. The Pioneers will control it. The Yellow Jackets trying to force a turnover, and it will be forced by Flack, the Nevada native. Third time's the charm for me on that one. They struggled to get that word out the first 2 times. Stoppage in play. And Marietta has possession at the moment, but the near side official calls for a reset on the play clock. Marietta will keep possession. Yellow Jackets with a new goaltender, Cyan Howery, a 6-foot senior from Golden, Colorado, Wheat Ridge High School, is now in goal for the Yellow Jackets. BW forces a turnover. They hustle it down the field. Out front, it's dodging with it, and it's taken away by the Pioneers. Chipolone sends it down the field to Leininger. Leininger jogs it across midfield. Sends a pass over to Neal. Back to Leininger. Behind the net, he goes with a pass to Franklin. Gives Franklin a screen. Franklin has it poked away twice by the Yellow Jackets, but still keeps possession. Franklin over to Walters. Walters with a stutter step goes to his left. Looking for a driving lane, drawing all sorts of attention from the Yellow Jackets. Walters sends it behind the net to Leininger. Leininger throws it over top of the goal, and it sails out of bounds. Possession will favor the Pioneers. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Franklin with it. Drives towards the crease, draws a triple team from the Yellow Jackets. It's poked away. Marietta has to hustle, and it'll be stolen away by the Yellow Jackets. The forced turnover, Tremel Duncan II, the 5'8 freshman defender from Pickerington, Ohio, comes up with the turnover. Dodging with it in the attack zone. Sends it out top to Flack. It's off of a deflection, and it'll be chased down by Joe Torborg, the 6'4 freshman attack from St. Cloud, Minnesota, St. Cloud Cathedral High School. Turnover by the Yellow Jackets, controlled by Marietta now. Lob pass across the field is controlled by Tommy Imhoff. Imhoff into the attack zone. He's a 5'11 sophomore from Worcester, Ohio, and Worcester High School, home of the Generals. Bender with it now. Bender sends it behind the net over to Tyler Rich. Rich cycles it around to chase Franklin. Franklin to Leininger. Leininger on the drive, fires it towards the net, and bounces it in for the Marietta score. That cuts the deficit to 12. 19-7 BW in front. 11:37 left to go in the fourth quarter from Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium. Neal versus Soul in the face-off circle. Sol will win the faceoff for the Yellow Jackets. Brings the ball near the attack zone, lobs it over to Grizovic. Grizovic sends it right side off to Joe Torborg. Now out front to Nate Hoover. Hoover over to Sheely, now to Geiselhart. Shot wide of the goal. The possession will stay with the Yellow Jackets. Hoover will track down the errant pass near midfield. He'll send it over to Sheely. Sheely now to Grizovic, back to Sheely. Sheely lobs it inside for Dodgen, and Dodgen will put it home for the Yellow Jacket goal. BW in front 20-7 with 10:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. That's Dodgen's fourth goal of the game. Dodgen came in with just one goal in 4 games played previously. So the young man finding a little bit of a rhythm offensively here today for the Yellow Jackets. Sol and Neal in the faceoff circle. Sol loses his balance, but from his belly will control the draw. Lobs it into the attack zone for Logan Lafleur, but it was wide of Lafleur, out of bounds over the end line. Turnover for the Yellow Jackets. The Pioneers get possession. Thomas Zerman with it. He gives it off to Josh Walters. Walters with it near sideline. Back to Zerman. Zerman sends it out top to Imhoff. Imhoff calling for a clear on the right side. He'll pass it to Franklin behind the cage. Out to Walters. Walters aims and fires, and it's wide of the goal. Possession will favor the Pioneers. Leininger with it. Leininger working against Caleb Fox and throws it away. It's taken by Gavin Pate. Pate lobs it up the field and finds Frankovic with it. Frankovic sends it right side, and a shot on goal by Torborg is saved by Chipolone. Chipolone gives it off to Lindell. Lindell across midfield. Lobs it to Leininger. Leininger into the attack zone now. Leininger kicks it out to Nick Bender. Bender sends it near side to Neal. Neal with a wraparound shot, scores from 15 yards out. It's the second time Neal's been running to his right and fires a shot, not squaring up on the net, but still finding a way to put it home. So that cuts the Yellow Jacket lead back to 12. BW in front 20-8 with 8:51 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Sol versus Neal, and Neal wins the draw for the Pioneers. He's across midfield. And he flips it high into the air as he was forced out of bounds by 2 Yellow Jackets. And now the Pioneers will give chase to the ball. And Duncan will muscle it down the field to Sol. Across midfield, it's Torborg with it. Soul took one heck of a hit near midfield and is finally back up and will jog toward the sideline. Grizovic with it. Gives it to Keaton Trout. Keaton Trout sends it out to Janssens. Gets sent over left side to Hunter Boehm. Back to Janssens. Janssens on the drive. Sends it over to Keaton Trout. Keaton Trout over to Torborg. Torborg fires it towards the goal, and it's saved by Chipolone. Chipolone near side, outlets it to Meckler. Meckler back to Chipolone. Now it gets sent over to Schwab on the far side. Schwab back to Chipolone. Chipolone muscles it down the field, and it's out of bounds into the Marietta bench. It's a turnover for the Pioneers. The Yellow Jackets will seize possession once more. Grizovic to Torborg. Torborg bounces it towards the goal. It's heading towards the sideline, but Keaton Trout will keep it alive for the Yellow Jackets. Under 7 minutes to go in this one. Jackets in firm control, up by 12. Sheely will back it out. Send it across to Grizovic. Grizovic now to Geiselhart. Geiselhart over to Sheely. Sheely to Geiselhart. Over to Sheely now behind the cage. It's a pass to Dodgen. It tips out towards Sheely. He'll deflect it and then scoop it up on the run. He'll lob it over to Grizovic right side. Grizovic inside, fires it towards the goal, but it's wide and high. Dodgen will track down one of the loose balls, and he will get the signal to restart play. Outlets it to Sheely. Sheely gets it right back from Torborg. Now over to Keaton Trout. Keaton Trout to Sheely. He fires it towards the goal, and it is wide of the cage. The Yellow Jackets still have 13 seconds left on the shot clock. It's Grizovic with it behind the net. Out front to Sheely. He fires it towards the net once more. Chipolone will control it. He outlets it to Meckler. Meckler back to Chipolone in the goal. Chipolone back to Meckler now near sideline. Meckler back to Chipolone. He lobs it across midfield, and it's Meckler who gets absolutely cracked by Nathan Prasowski, the 6'3 freshman defender from Auburn, Michigan, and Midland High School, forces the turnover. Trout to Grizovic. Off the deflection, it's hustling towards midfield where the Yellow Jackets will scoop it up. That's Gavin Flack with it over to Torborg. Torborg out front to Kuhnman. Kuhnman over to Geiselhart on the left wing. Geiselhart to Torborg. Torborg with it. Sends it over to Keaton Trout on the near side. Trout driving to his right. Goes behind the goal. Centers it to Torborg. Torborg goes to his left. Rockets a shot toward the goal, and it's off the side of the goal. Or rather, no, it's in. The Yellow Jackets score, and they go up 21-8 with 4:41 to play here in the fourth quarter. Torborg now with 3 goals on the season for the Yellow Jackets. Evan Vetter sent to the faceoff circle for the Yellow Jackets. And on to take the draw for Marietta, number 6, Caden Alkire, the 5'11 freshman from Ellicott City, Maryland, and Centennial High School. An infraction is called against the Yellow Jackets. The Pioneers will seize possession. Zerman will get it at midfield. Run to his right. looking to get in the attack zone. Sends it out to Nick Bender. Bender has it. The Yellow Jackets tried to poke it loose, and now a pass goes beyond the goal and out of bounds. Marietta will retain possession. Tyler Rich with possession gives it off to Zerman. Zerman on the drive. Back to Rich. Now out front it goes to Neal. Neal with a shot. It's saved by the Yellow Jackets. And Howry will lob it down the field where the Yellow Jackets will give chase and Torborg will pick it up. Grizovic with it. Out front with a pass to Pate. Pate controls it off a deflection. Now Grizovic controls it off of a potential turnover. Swings a pass towards the net, and it's just out of the reach of Ryan Holcomb, the 6'2 freshman attack from Hudson and Walsh Jesuit High School. Has it go just out of his reach. And Marietta will get control of the possession once more. Out to midfield to Zerman. That was Chipolone with the lead pass. Zerman over to Bender, and he caroms away from Bender, and it's out of bounds off of the Pioneers. The Yellow Jackets will get control. It's sent across midfield from Bartos to Flack. Flack to Grizovic. Over to Torborg. Off the deflection. It's Holcomb trying to keep possession for the Yellow Jackets. Torborg will get it and take it away. And a stoppage in play. As a timeout is called by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. While we have this opportunity, want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game is being brought to you by BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. University Hospitals, Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. And Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. Tonight's game is also brought to you by the Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Antonio's Pizzeria of Middleburg Heights, the official pizza sponsor of Yellow Jacket Athletics. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse game on BWYellowJackets.com and OAC TV. .255 to go here in the fourth quarter of play. The Yellow Jackets in firm control of this one over the Marietta College Pioneers, 21-8. The Yellow Jackets looking for their second straight victory. The Pioneers heading towards their third straight loss after a 3-game winning streak. Started on March 2nd, continued on March 9th and March 13th. They have since dropped games to Wittenberg and St. Vincent and are very close to dropping this one against the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Reese Leach with it for the Yellow Jackets. Gets sent out top to number 21, Paxton Allison. Over to number 99, Reese Leach. Back to Allison. Now over left side it goes to Torborg. Back to Allison. He fires it towards the net, and it's saved by Chipolone. Chipolone off to Schwab. He'll lob it down the field to Brett Dickerson. Dickerson back to Schwab. Across the field it goes to Meckler. Meckler skips it across the field to Schwab once more. Schwab lobs it all the way down the field, and it will go past the end line. The Yellow Jackets will force the turnover. Tramel Duncan, the second, with possession. He gives it to the goalkeeper, and then gets it right back. Duncan across midfield. With the pass, it goes to number 66, Evan McClory, a 6-foot sophomore midfielder from Davisburg, Michigan, and Clarkston High School. Behind the net to Holcomb. It gets sent out to McClory. Allison with it. Over to Torborg on the left side. Back to Allison. Now to McClory. Behind the net to Grizovic. Over to Holcomb. Now to Torborg once more. Shot toward the net by Allison is wide. The Yellow Jackets will keep possession. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. 1:16 and counting left in this fourth quarter. Grizovic out front with the pass. It's shot towards the net and deflected away by Chipolone. Torborg and Schwab hustles after it. And a good battle ensues near the side and end lines. The Yellow Jackets will keep it. Torborg with it. He'll outlet it to Leach. Out front it goes to Allison. And Allison will get it right back from Torborg. Send it right side now to Leach. Leach, a 6'3 senior midfielder from Canton Glen Oak High School with the ball on the right wing. He'll send it over to Torborg. Torborg one-hands a pass over to McClory. Now Grizovic with it. It gets sent back to Allison, now to Torborg. He winds, fires, and buries the shot low left corner for the Yellow Jacket tally. It's now BW 22, Marietta 8. 19 seconds left to go here in the game. Torborg now with 2 goals on the day for the Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets drawing and winning it as Ryan Frankovic will scoop it up. Gavin Flack took the faceoff for the Yellow Jackets. 10 seconds left. The Yellow Jackets with possession. It's Holcomb with it. He'll jog it behind the goal and into the corner where he runs out the clock. And BW will get their second straight victory. They improve to 2-5 on the year as they win it 22-8 over the Marietta College Pioneers. Again, BW improves to 2-5 overall. They are 2-1 at home and 1-0 in Ohio Athletic Conference play. The Pioneers fall to 3-5 overall, 2-3 away from home, and 0-1 in Ohio Athletic Conference play. Taking a look at some final individual statistics for you. Leading the way for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, it's a trio of goal scorers with 4 each. Jake Nanoski, Noah Dodgen, and Jake Kuhnman each tallied 4. Ian Sheely had 3. Bennett Trout, Joe Torborg had 2. Carson Grizovic, Noah Bartos, and Riken Geiselhart each had 1. Leading the way in assists with 3. Jake Nanoski, Nate Hoover had 2. And Noah Dodgen, Jake Kuhnman, Ian Sheely, Bennett Trout, and Riken Geiselhart each had 1. Samuel Lopiccolo had 4 saves on the day for the Yellow Jackets. Leading the way for the Marietta Pioneers with 2 goals each. Nate Neal, Logan Podgorski, and Thomas Zerman. 1 goal each for Chase Franklin and Sam Leininger. Leininger led the way with 3 assists, while Josh Walters added 1 helper, and so did Tyler Rich. Ben Millard started and made 8 saves on 67 shots faced for the Pioneers. BW outshot Marietta 63-23 with 30 shots on goal as opposed to just 12 for the Pioneers. Marietta had 8 saves, BW had 4. BW commanded the face-off wins 20-14, and the ground balls 37-11. BW 15 of 15 on clears. Marietta 12 of 18 on clears. 25 turnovers for the Pioneers, 16 for the Yellow Jackets. BW had 14 caused turnovers as opposed to 6 for the Marietta Pioneers. Man up, Marietta went 0 for 2. BW did not have a man advantage in the game. Once again, BW improves to 2-5 overall with a 22-8 victory over the Marietta Pioneers. BW will next be in action on Friday afternoon, March 29th at 1 p.m. when they host the Otterbein Cardinals in Ohio Athletic Conference men's lacrosse play. For everyone here at BW, I'm Matt Florjancic saying enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. And as always, go Jackets.